directly went to the covert action.
Yeah.
And I was curious, what made you not go that route again this time, and if you plan to, because it was the way this unfolds, if you plan to.
Yeah, the privileged resolution is a very kind of narrow thing, and you have to kind of prepare it just the right way in order to get the privileged status where you're entitled to a prompt vote on a simple majority that can't be filibustered, right? And to meet the privilege, you have to say that the U.S. military is involved in hostilities in another nation. The intel community is not part of the War Powers Resolution. The U.S. military is involved, and those hostilities, which can either be active or imminent, are not covered by a congressional authorization. In this case, there was no argument that there was congressional authorization. We argue that this is clearly hostilities, and the motion on the floor technically is, wait a minute, this isn't hostilities. That was what they just voted for. But covert action by non-military actors, there are other ways to challenge that in the appropriations process or in resolutions, but they wouldn't get the privilege that would enable you to automatic and guaranteed vote that U.S. military action does.
As we're pointing out, too, the irony of the fact that this is the third War Powers Resolution we've had. Only when the third resolution passed did they suddenly decide procedurally we should never even allow these things to get a vote. That seems a little too cute, a little too late, but it is obviously indicative of the fact they don't really want this debate to take place. They don't want to have to explain.
Please.
What's our timeline now for seeing future votes on Greenland, on Cuba?
We don't really know. I mean, Adam and I and our colleagues are talking. I think what you'll see is the next tranche that get filed will have some different leads and some different co-sponsors. And I think we all agreed, let's have a Venezuela vote before we file any others. But you will see Iran, Colombia, Mexico, Nigeria, Cuba, Greenland, Denmark. I called it Greenmark earlier today. Greenland, Denmark. You will see them all filed, and they can't block us from having a vote. They may try to turn it into a procedural vote, but a procedural vote is at bottom a vote on one thing. Should Congress be involved, or should Congress vote for its own irrelevance? Should we be a forever war nation on a presidential say-so, or should we have some checks and balances? All these votes are essentially the same vote, and we're going to be having a lot of them.